Philippians chapter 2, starting at verse 5. Let the same mind be in you that was in Messiah Yeshua, who, though he was in the form of God, did not regard equality with God as something to be exploited, but he emptied himself, taking the form of a slave. Being born in human likeness, and being found in human fashion, he humbled himself and became obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. Now, the word form is translated properly from the Greek word morphe. The Greek word for nature is ousia, not morphe. If you don't know what the Greek word morphe means, then look at the translation. Morphe is translated as form. If you don't know what form means, well, then grab a dictionary, www.dictionary.com, and look up the word form. It is properly translated. It is not translated as nature because nature is the Greek word ousia, not morphe. Now, being like the Bereans, we go to the Septuagint, Isaiah chapter 44, verse 13. Why should we go somewhere outside the Bible? Let's go and look at the Bible itself. Let the Bible define the biblical words, right? That's what we should do, like the Bereans. Let the Bible define the Bible. Now, notice the Greek word morphein. Okay, now that's properly translated as form. So let's read this verse. The artificer, having chosen a piece of wood, marks it out with a rule and fits it with glue and makes it as the form of a man and as the beauty of a man to set it up in the house. Speaking about an idol. Well, he doesn't make it into flesh and bones and blood of a man. No, he makes it into the form of a man. It has to do with appearance. Okay, it does not have to do with nature. Wood is not made into flesh. Okay, I don't know if you're confused or what, but it's right there in front of you. Okay, form has to do with appearance. So, how was he in the form of God, and how was he in the form of a slave? He was in the form of God by doing or by saying the things that God does, and he was in the form of a slave by doing and saying the things a slave does. That's the difference between the form of God and the form of man. Now, angels are also slaves. Consider the book of Revelation. Moving on to verse 9 through verse 11. Therefore God also highly exalted him and gave him the name that is above every name, so that the name of Yeshua every knee should bend in heaven and on earth, and every tongue should confess that Messiah Yeshua is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. Now notice right away it notifies you who God is, the Father, period. Now, notice they are doing this not to Yeshua, but rather they are doing it at his name. Who are they doing this to? They are doing this to God the Father, to the glory of God the Father. So they are not confessing to Yeshua. Rather, they are confessing that Yeshua is Lord to the Father. It's right there in front of you. Now, this would have been the perfect time for Apostle Paul to say God also highly exalted himself if Paul was a Trinitarian and believed that Yeshua was indeed God himself. This would have been a perfect time to say, therefore God also highly exalted himself and gave himself the name that is above every name. But that's not what's going on, because Yeshua is not God himself. God is the Father, period.